We're back again. Hello. We
Hello.
missed you. Did we?
I not me. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but
Oh, that is me.
that was me.
All right. We're going to start today off. Actually, why don't we start with my little reveal? Okay.
Yeah, I can't
Okay.
wait to find out what this is
So
about.
I eat this tuna from Trader Joe's that has no salt, which I don't understand, but I can't find it anywhere else. Like no
No
salt tuna.
salt.
Yes. It doesn't need salt. The tuna has enough flavor.
Oh, I'm about the salt.
See, I'm not a salt person.
I'm usually not a salt person, but with canned goods, I need salt.
Oh, well, I don't want salt.
Yeah, I usually don't add salt to things.
Right.
Oh, once in a while, but not really.
Well, I went to Trader Joe's. I buy a lot of this stuff. Like I stop and I drive it because I can eat it like sort of when I'm driving. Like
Yeah.
I just from the can. Yes, it's weird. What do you do? So, well, look, some people call it a delicacy when you go to the sushi place. Well, it's raw there, but like when you pay a fortune for the tuna.
Listen, whatever
Okay.
works for you.
So I
No
got
judgments.
all right. Well, the tuna, I got it like maybe a month ago. I started eating it, and it was crunchy. And
Wait a minute, a month ago.
no, this is the second time. A month ago was the first time. This is the second time. This is the tuna.
It was crunchy and you ate it?
No, I returned it, but I did not like the results I got.
Okay.
Because when I told them, they like, they didn't care. I tend to tell you what is in the tuna.
Okay.
I'll show you. Well, it's not really disgusting. It's just not healthy. Well, here's one. Look,
What is that?
I mean, I think it's a piece of plastic.
Ew.
Look, it was a sharp piece of plastic, right? This was in my mouth. This was in my mouth.
Wow, that's bad.
And it's just plastic, right? Now, this is the second time this happened to me. I don't
And
know.
they didn't care?
They didn't care at all.
Like, you'd think that they would send it back to the manufacturer.
Well,
Like,
okay.
they
I
would
expected,
send the whole lot.
I don't see any more. The last one had I looked around and it had several. I don't see any more in here, but
Listen, one's enough.
there probably is more, but like, I'm not like going through
There
the whole
shouldn't
thing.
be any.
I know. Well, there's another one, I think. Yeah, there's little shreds in it. Okay, there's more in here. There are more. It's glaring. All right, I think I made my point though, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm not asking for money for like a lawsuit or anything, but they didn't care at all. When I brought the tuna into them, I went up to the counter. Now they have a new thing at Trader Joe's where when you do the returns now, you go right to the cashier, which is weird. You do your returns when you're paying.
Oh.
Well, they really have good faith in people because you could just say you're returning things you just picked up.
Yeah.
The guy actually did it. Last time I went to return something, he thought there were two things I was returning. I'm like, no. I told him he was wrong. Otherwise, I would have got money back for something that I was buying.
Oh. He didn't even, like, question it?
He decided that I was returning it
Oh,
because it was
okay.
together. Like the one I was returning happened to be sitting with the other thing, but I said I'm returning this, but he just decided it was both. But I told him because I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
I also wanted the product that I was. No, but even that, actually, I was buy. Did you ever buy things that you already have because you forgot if you have them?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This was that. It was the third one I was buying. What was it? Oh, it was something, some sort of seasoning or something. Oh, I like the coconut amino seasoning.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, it looks like soy sauce, but it's not salty like soy sauce. So it's in that family, but it's made, I guess, with coconut, I would imagine. And the calorie count is very small. You know, when you look at sauces, right? It's shocking when you see how much calories,
Yeah.
right? It's like, what has happened here? So, but that one does not have a lot of calories and it adds a lot of flavor. So I recommend the Trader Joe's coconut amino. But and it's sad that, I returned it to the booth things because I wanted them to know, like, I think you should, they didn't care at all. They were just like poo-pooed me. So, they just threw it in the trash. They didn't do a recall or anything.
They really should.
They still wanted to wait to do the return until I got to checkout, which makes no sense. But okay. So I told the girl, and I'm like, there was plastic in my tuna. And she goes, yeah, another customer told me about that recently.
Really?
I know. And now it's the second time. And it's the no salt tuna. And I think something should be done about this.
Of course something should be done about that.
And I bought this can at a different Trader Joe's than I did the first one.
Oh, no bueno, Trader Joe's.
what is going on? There's like plastic in this thing. Somebody probably broke a plastic thing and it just got
Yeah.
mixed in with everything. And I don't know. It's not healthy.
I'm so surprised. Trader Joe's, they're usually like, "Can I help you?" Like they're too
No,
much.
well, I was in Hewlett and they were like,
Oh, that one looks like a nightmare.
yeah, but I was around there delivering, so
Yeah.
that's why I went in. It is leaving that parking lot
Horrible.
because the people are bitches and they don't want to let you out.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a parking lot and there's arrows telling you to go one way or another. There's a reason that way it allows for easy access in and out. But they're such bitches that they're going the easier way for them, even though they're not supposed to. And they completely block the whole aisle, can't get out, trapped in the Trader Joe's parking lot.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst. I
And
went
then
by there
even
the other
getting out,
day.
yeah.
It was awful.
Then to get into the street, you got to wait forever because nobody will be nice enough to let you out.
Oh, yeah, people are really I started working in
Yeah.
that area, and wow,
Five towns now. It's
people
so
are
rude.
really rude.
I grew up in the five towns, and I'm telling you, it's so mean.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah. Did I tell you what happened? I was trying to leave this
yeah,
parking lot.
and you couldn't get out. Yeah, same
Rude.
concept. Well, this is what it's like there. I mean, it's like that everywhere, basically. But they're like centralized, obnoxious.
Yeah,
Like
I
it's
was
just like
really surprised, actually. I did not know that. I haven't spent a lot of time in
ugh,
that area.
it's mean. I don't know. Have some consideration for your fellow human.
I have to tell you, so I started work at that place, and lovely.
Oh, they're nice. Well,
Everybody was
that's good.
so
Well,
nice.
that's good.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Well, let's hope that keeps up.
I hope so. I
S-
mean, you're always going to get somebody
Some
that's not
jackass.
right,
Yeah.
but for the most part.
Well, that's good. There are some good people, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I always felt like an outsider in the five towns.
Oh,
I mean, I literally wrote about it in a book.
yeah.
So, you know, but
Like I said, I've never spent, it's kind of out of,
yeah. Well, it is out of the way.
yeah,
Yeah, if you don't
like I
live there.
didn't live
Yeah.
anywhere near there.
Right.
No, you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the East Rockaway
Yeah.
Road or whatever that
Right.
is that
Yeah,
goes
yeah, that's it.
through.
That's it.
I took that way. I was meeting people in Rockville Center. I don't know where you people are from. You
I don't
probably
think
don't
you
know where
should have
I'm
gone
from.
down East Rockaway Road to go to Rockville Center. You should have gone to Sunrise.
Oh no, I was going to Oceanside first.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, I'll just cut through.
Huh.
My God, what a nightmare.
Really?
Oh, those train tracks. Those train tracks go down.
Oh, in East
Yeah.
Rockaway, that is bad. That's right. I go out of my way. Like if I see them going down, I'll go down another street and go all the way around. I'll do
Yeah.
anything to get out of that
I
because you can wait forever at those
I
train
know.
tracks.
I forgot all
Yeah,
that. I haven't been that way
it
in
depends
so
the time
long.
of day, but certain
Oh, it
like
was a
it's like
nightmare.
when those trains are coming back or either going to New York or coming from like the rush hour times. Oh my God, you could just sit there the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
You could write a novel while you're waiting,
I sat there at least 20
and you're
minutes.
trapped if you get so close.
Yeah,
You can't turn around.
you can't go
Yeah,
anywhere.
it's terrible.
And I was like, I can't believe I forgot this happens.
Yes, I know, and I always mean to, like, go around another way, and then I'm like, "Oh, why did I do this?"
That's what I thought. I'm like, I know this. I've done this before.
But, you're like, "La, la, la," oblivious, and like, "Oh, no, I'm trapped again."
Yeah.
Just it's like hooked in like a fish,
Yeah.
trapped. Terrible.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Well, let's see. Well, there you go, guys. Avoid East Rockaway Road.
Yeah.
It's not really East Rockaway Road, turns into
It
Atlantic.
turns
That's where the
yes,
trouble
that's where
is, Atlantic, yeah.
yes.
East Rockaway Road is actually not that bad for something that only has one lane either way is generally pretty good.
Most of it is
Yeah.
fine. It's just when you
Except
get to
except like when the high school's getting out over there, then it's like a freaking
oh
nightmare.
yeah, that's true.
And then if they have construction, they've had construction on that road, and they send you on. You would not believe the detours they send you on. You wouldn't even know these streets existed, like
Yeah.
zigzagging everywhere. But
I have to say it's a very nice area.
yeah,
It looks nice.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I still feel like people should just be nice to each other. And when you're driving, you're seeing like it's like humanity at its basest, and it's just not good. Like I'm so shocked when people stop
I know.
and wait for me. I'm like, oh my God, this person's being nice.
Yeah.
Like
But I
it's
always
shocked.
do it.
Oh, me too. They're shocked when I try. I almost had accident. I almost had accident on the highway because all of a sudden it was not, without warning. The lane was ending, and so a guy was right at the edge, and I'm like, "Go!" And I'm like yelling at him, like he can't hear me, and I had to go because someone would have hit me because he didn't know that I was letting him go.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Oh yeah.
Getting on the highway is really terrifying when they're whizzing
Oh,
so fast.
every day when I go to work. So once again, if you don't live on Long Island, I'm sorry.
Well,
But so I take the Seaford Oyster Bay. and people come off of the LIE and get on there, and
Right.
they whip
Yeah.
around,
Whip in. Yeah.
and then they wanna get in your lane,
Right.
and they don't care that you're in that
Right.
lane,
Yeah, I know.
literally every morning,
Selfish.
and I'm
Yep.
usually going 70 on that, and people are flying by me.
Oh, I know.
I
They're
mean, like,
crazy.
flying.
I don't understand people like speeding. It's like, what are you
Where are you
doing?
getting?
And it's just, it's so dangerous too. I don't know. People are crazy. But there was actually in that, what is that book? Uh, that book where what's his name died in it of the drug overdose. You know, less than zero.
Oh, okay.
He is that the. I think the beginning of it is. I think the first line is the people are afraid to merge.
I've never read that book.
It was good. I think. I don't know. At the time, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on your state of mind. You know where you are in your life, but it was about L.A. You know, it's funny because then that other one, Bright Lights, Big City, was about Manhattan. So it was like,
That's
well, they both
didn't read
they
it, didn't
must have
see it.
come out around the same time because the movies came out around the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like microcosms of it really is true. Like that the drive in LA, the driving is, if you thought it was bad here, it's 20 million times worse over there.
Oh, I was
They're
there.
terrifying.
I didn't drive,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Especially after driving across country in a what was that thing I was in?
RV.
Yeah. After that, I was terrified as a what I was and I was like, I can't move, I can't move. He said, go. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. I'm so scared they're gonna hit me. LA just got me. Not the place you should go after driving across country. All right. Well, I might cut all that out.
Really?
No, I think it's okay, right?
Yeah.
It's just funny. Okay. So we're gonna start with well, we started with the tuna. Next up is a Karen Reed update. Do you know who she is now?
Nope.
Oh my God! This
Who's
is the
that?
third time we're talking about her.
Oh, is she the lady with
The lady.
the car
She's a
thing
lady boy.
with the boyfriend?
She had a boyfriend. That yeah.
Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
We talked a lot about it.
Yeah, yeah, I remember now.
Okay. And you said I remember it, but not her name.
Yeah, no, I
And I
still
said,
didn't remember her
Reed, like
name.
reading a book. You should know that.
Still didn't remember.
Okay. Well, first of all,
You have to tell me what it's about. I don't remember names.
the guy that really caused all the people to think that something was up with the case, his name is Turtle Boy.
No, it's not.
Well, it's not his real name, but he's a blogger and he goes by Turtle Boy. And
All right.
he always did what are those, you know, like what- when you suspect that things are wrong, you know, the silly suspicious, you know, when you go
Conspiracy
deep, yeah, like that, like real, but they were kind of crazy fringe things.
They usually are.
And well, he discovered this and he's like, wait a minute, I think this is real. And so he started. Now but he loves being the main guy. People go protest. They in Massachusetts, I guess in Boston, they set up protests. I think they do it around the country in some places too now. And someone goes up to him, are you one of them? He goes, I'm the leader. I'm Turtle Boy. Oh my God. But we shouldn't laugh because Turtle Boy makes enough money. This is his full-time job, blogging.
Really? Good for him.
And but he's really making money now. He was able to buy a Lexus. And everybody assumed because he had
fancy,
right, but they assumed that because he had a Lexus, Karen Reed's brother must have given him the Lexus because he has a Lexus dealership.
Oh,
so they just assumed that he actually had to prove that he didn't. That it
really
like what? First of all, I'm not quite convinced that would be illegal if Karen Reed's brother wanted to give him a Lexus. Why can't he? Like, thanks for supporting my sister. I don't because he's not a lawyer. You know, he's not involved in any way other than he writes about it. I don't believe it would be criminal for the guy to give him a Lexus.
Look, nowadays, I can't imagine that would be a problem.
Oh, but it was. He actually, he tweet. I don't know if he tweeted because we don't tweet it. I'm done with tweeting. It's over.
Oh God, I haven't done that.
But he put on social media a copy of his agreement that his payment that he paid it. Now you would never know. The brother might have made a foot. No, I'm okay.
Who is that interested? Who cares?
So many people. Well, the guy. I mean, I'm not sure who brought that up, but I mean, I could see worrying about. I'm not sure why it would be illegal anyway. Like, say if they gave it to the lawyer, it could be payment. I really don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of things are wrong. Here's another thing that I think is wrong.
People worry about stupid shit.
Well, here's another crazy thing. Okay, The prosecution is seeking to block Karen Reed's third-party culprit defense in her second trial. Now, the first trial was a mistrial. The second trial, now I don't understand this because, as you know, I listen to all these crime shows, particularly Dateline, but I listen to all of them. So in those cases, people often bring up that it was somebody else. And they often actually name people, even when there's no proof, because they're allowed to, because they're not saying they did it. They go, this one could have done it. It's like reason, they're looking for reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
This happens so many times. But the prosecution does not want to let her do that.
Oh,
I don't see how they can not. It's a standard defense. It happens all the time. Why are they such bitches in Boston? Because like the same thing, like with the murder two. If you get convicted of murder two in Massachusetts, it's life. That's baloney. Then why do they have murder one? Because murder one should be life. Murder one is premeditated. Murder two is more like in the moment. There's supposed to be less for that. Like murder two in another place would be like 15 to life. 15. Or not just life.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? So now to take away her defense, it doesn't make sense. I mean, why can't she argue? Like, for example, the guy had bites on him, right? Like, so maybe the dog bit him. That's saying that something else happened in that house. But so how can you not allow that?
I don't know.
If she didn't do it, obviously someone else did. So why, if you're pleading not guilty, you are saying de facto that someone else did it. It can't be an accident that because he had injuries, right? So he didn't accidentally get injured and die in the snow. Somebody did this to him, whether they meant it, maybe it was deliberate, maybe somebody else did this to him, though. So therefore, anybody that pleads not guilty is in fact saying someone else did it. That's the idea. Otherwise, why don't we just not have trials anymore? Lock them up. So I don't know what they have such a what is that thing when like they won't let something go? They just have this stuck in their craw to really harass her. And why they shouldn't even retry her? Like it's just, I don't know. When you look at the evidence, it just seems so flimsy. I'd say yes, she's definitely guilty of drunk driving. But other than that, I just don't see where they have a case at all. Another thing that happened was a juror from the first trial went on court TV and was talking about what he thought went wrong, like why it was hung. But he said his name is Ronnie Estanislao. Estanislao. Interesting name. He had a cute little bow tie on.
Huh?
Yeah, it was like very popping. Popped up. He was ready for his close up. But so he was saying what I don't know if I told you, but they said they were hung because they did not understand that you could put it in a verdict for some things but not everything. So in fact, he said the panel had actually unanimously acquitted Reed on the charges of murder and leaving the scene of the accident and had only been deadlocked on the charge of manslaughter.
Oh.
But he said, unfortunately, at that time, we did not fill out any of the paperwork there nor sign it. We were under the understanding that each charge could not be treated separately, and so we continued to deliberate despite the fact that we had agreed on 2 of the counts as not guilty. So honestly, I've seen this happen in other places too, where they do split the thing and they can only try them on the thing that's left. So I think that they should not charge her on that again. I think she should be acquitted. Like everybody says it, they admit it. What is the problem?
Wouldn't that be a mistrial then?
No, they did give a mistrial, but it's not. But it's no. They agreed. They acquitted her on the murder one and murder two. And the leaving the scene of the accident.
Okay.
But they didn't write it down because they were misinformed. They thought that they had to agree on all of them. So she really should only be tried again now on manslaughter. That's the only.
Right.
That's the only thing. I mean, and why are they giving them such a hard time about it? This is stuff that happens all the time. This is how it's done. But they're being real bitches to her. Is it because he was a cop? Probably, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but also, honestly, those other cops, I'm sorry, but remember, the cell phones from 2 of the men that were in that house mysteriously are gone.
Yeah.
Okay. The woman typed in house, but how long, she misspelled it, how long to die in the snow at like 2 something a.m. Okay. She says she did it when Cameron came back and they were looking, but it's not that time on her phone. And she's like, oh, it's wrong. The phone is wrong. It's very rare that a cell phone will have the wrong time. I think they're having experts talk about that. And then he had injuries consistent of dog bites. There was a dog in that house. Now the dog is missing. No one can find the dog. The dog's been taken to a safe house or something. They must really love that dog if the dog hurt the guy and they killed him to cover up for the dog. But maybe,
I mean,
but it could have been that the guy, like, because apparently there was somebody in that house, like a nephew of someone that he did not get along with, that was there. And it's possible they got into the fight and the dog intervened, but maybe the guy was actually the one that caused injuries more. I don't
yeah,
know. But I don't know. There's certainly reasonable doubt. I'll tell you that.
sounds like it.
And this is what now he ultimately Estanislao, I do like that name, said he blames himself and the rest of the jury for failing to give closure to the case. He believes that had the jurors asked whether they should be considering all the charges independently, the mistrial could have been avoided. And then he's quoted as saying, shame on us for not asking the question and shame on the system for not clearly indicating what can be done and what can't be done. It's true.
Yeah.
And then this is interesting. He's a paramedic. Okay. So the first responders testified that she was saying, I hit him while they were working on when he got called. And he said that his knowledge of working as a paramedic also called into question some of the testimony from first responders who said they heard Reed saying, I hit him, in reference to O'Keefe, the guy that got hit. He says, I found it interesting that everybody kind of remembered when usually in the heat of the moment, you focus on taking care of the patient and not what others are saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's calling into question what they, it's not, now, I mean, the paramedics might be more on the side of the cops too, aren't they all sort of, they work together?
It's possible.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it depends on the people.
I don't know. But all this to me is definitely reasonable doubt. And apparently they did a federal investigation and they cleared everybody else, but that doesn't mean they're definitely innocent. We don't know. And it really has nothing to do with this trial. See, based on the federal thing resulting in no other prosecution, they think now they can take away her defense. It's ridiculous. This is a defense that is used in every courtroom.
Yeah.
So that's the latest.
I'll try to remember her name.
They're gonna have a show about her, which I know I can see this is gonna be trouble now because the court is gunning for her. She said they're having an HBO thing and it's a documentary about her, and she has said, "This is my testimony." Bad thing to say, lady. They're gonna be mad. And it's just she's saying it metaphorically, but they're gonna be on her. She's trying to what is that? Nullify the jury and this and that. And she said it's a testimony. That show should be barred. Nobody can watch. You can.
I know.
They're really going crazy over there. Now I remember I used to love The Practice, and I will say that the judges could be real mean there, and I guess it's based on truth.
Listen, it happens.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about something that I call the forgiveness fallacy. Proof of which, after you see me talk about it, I could not find any quotes that supported what I say.
Okay.
About the whole idea. I'm going to say more after I'm going to talk about Dateline episode and show how this demonstrates this. But the whole underlying thing that I want to say is everybody's trying to push you to forgive, even if you don't feel like forgiving. And they're saying it hurts you and da-da-da. But I'm saying if you don't want to forgive, you shouldn't forgive. And no one should push you into anything that you don't want to do. And forgiveness is a fallacy because if you forgive somebody you didn't feel like forgiving, that's happened to me. I'm going to talk about that. You feel really miserable. Like, why did I do that? I got pushed into that and I did it. And why do you need to announce you forgive somebody? What are we in kindergarten? I'm going to give you the examples, but I could not find any quote that said you're free to.
Me neither. I looked.
Every quote was like, you must forgive.
Yes.
You must forgive. I'm like, okay.
Couldn't find any.
Nothing. So I found quotes for freedom of choice. I just think that that's baloney. You should be able to do what you want to do.
I think you should do whatever will make you feel better, whatever
Right.
makes you okay with what is going on.
Right. But it's your choice, and it's
yes.
bullshit. It's not going to instantly, oh, I feel better now. I've forgiven them. It's burdening my soul. It must go on. So I'll show, but I want to talk about this Dateline. It was very recent, actually. Dateline season 33, episode 17, entitled The Haunted House Confession.
Oh, my.
Which is, The name doesn't exactly work because the confession was not in the haunted house.
Oh,
No.
that's disappointing.
There was a haunted house, but it wasn't really I don't know if it was really haunted, but that's where the girl was murdered.
Oh,
And she was killed on Friday the 13th, which added to the and that's a little sticking to me because my son died on Friday.
yeah,
Friday the 13th, if you look in throughout history, bad things a lot has happened there. So which might be how it got that name. I don't
yeah.
know. But it is weird how a lot of bad things happen on Friday the 13th. So this girl, young lady, she was 25. Her name was Shantae Blankenship. It happened in Texas. Happened in May, I guess, Friday the 13th, May. So May 13th, 2016. Takes a while for these things to come out because it just was a new episode a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
I guess you have to go through the court system and I don't know. Or maybe they just I guess they find cases later sometimes. I don't really know how it works. So she was from the Brown County in Texas. She was diagnosed with a pervasive developmental disorder, which made her dependent on family members. So she liked to go for walks every day, and unfortunately, one walk was her downfall.
that's sad.
It's awful. So she went on a regular walk at night on May 13th, 2016, but never returned. Her family members reported her missing, and they found her body it was like an abandoned house. I didn't watch the episode. I listened to it while I'm driving, but they did say on talk. They have the thing called Talking Dateline where they talk about it. They did say you should watch this. I might go back and look at it. Apparently, the house is like the textbook. When you say haunted house, it looks like a haunted house.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
I
just
feel
like
like every neighborhood has that house.
that's true. Yeah. But this one apparently was set back on a back road where that people don't go. But apparently, like kids hung out there. But there were, I don't know, apparently wild animals went in there
Yeah.
because it was
I
just,
mean, it's abandoned, right?
yeah. So they found her in a cellar, which is what's more creepy than that, right?
Yeah.
And
Who found her in there?
well, this is weird. Okay, be careful if you ever join a search party. Be careful because if you find somebody, you might be blamed.
Oh my
Because
God.
they first blamed the people. They were like, oh, why were they looking over there? They were just, why would anybody look anywhere, right? A lot of people were searching, right? So the couple decided, well, we're going to go where other people aren't looking. I thought that was a good idea.
All right, that
And
makes
then they
sense.
call up and they find her. Next thing you know, intense scrutiny, accusations.
Oh,
You did this, like just because you found her.
yeah.
It's like he who
That's
smelt
crazy.
it dealt it, right? I mean, this happens a lot. And I just think, wow, like, I guess this is part of no good deed goes unpunished, which when I used to go to this gym and it used to say that, like, the guy had to say, of all the things to have in a gym, when you're trying to work out and stuff, and he had the sign that said no good deed goes unpunished. And I'm like, why do you have that? He goes, wait. So I thought that was interesting that of all things, I mean, maybe it's so, but it's like a weird thing. Like that's going to be the thing you show out of all possible quotes that you're going to put that one. So it says a lot about a person,
Yes.
right? But so they found her body 2 days later, and they said it was really fortunate that these people looked there because like animals would have got her.
Oh yeah.
Which is like gross and everything. But I mean, more importantly, for the manner of death, I guess, and all that stuff. They thought the house was haunted, and horror stories about that house, were all over the place. Well, people do that all the time. Even an assistant district attorney said on Dateline, "You think Friday the 13th? You start wondering, is there something more sinister than just somebody got murdered? What's more sinister than somebody got murdered?
I don't know. More than one person? Like, what could it be?
I don't know. I think it's sinister when one person dies.
Of course.
That's a weird thing for an ADA to say. More maybe like. Maybe you could think like there's additional factors, but I wouldn't say more sinister.
No.
Like I just wouldn't. So then they did the autopsy and they confirmed it was a homicide. She was strangled and trauma to the head, and then she was sexually assaulted. But when they put sexually assaulted in this thing, they put a little star instead of E. They couldn't write sexually.
I've noticed that this is a thing now.
Why can't they write it?
No. But I'm like, you're a fucking adult.
Now sex is what sex.
I don't understand. I hate when people do that. I understand maybe it's their own personal thing, but for me, we all know what the word is.
Yeah.
Just because you leave out one letter?
This is not even I could see arguments about profanity, but these days kids hear it all the time. I don't know who we're trying to hide it from.
I don't
You
know.
know
There's also this new thing I've noticed, and I'm not sure where it came from, but people say unalived.
what?
I think that's it.
Instead of dead,
Yeah,
unalive,
or like
unalive.
I think it's unalive. I could be wrong, but it's something like that.
Why? 'Cause they don't want to say dead. What's wrong?
It's like usually it's referring to somebody getting killed,
Right.
or this is at least
So
this
now they're
what
unalive.
I have read.
Wow. I believe that could happen.
But I don't know why people are suddenly saying that. I haven't looked it up.
I don't know. Is it like
Obviously, there's a reason because I've seen it
they must
multiple
think like
times.
it's like prejudicial against the dead?
I don't know.
I don't
There's
know.
got to be a reason.
I will admit,
What
I don't like to say my son. I do say like when that happened to him, I try not to say it. Like it is upsetting.
yeah, I mean,
But I wouldn't say unalive though. I mean, to me, it's the same thing as saying dead, right?
and don't quote me. It might not be unalive,
Quoting
but
you.
it's something
You
like
are
that.
going on the front page of the New York Times.
Unalive.
That's it. Unalive. Unalive. Not even unalive.
It's something like that that you're like that you stop and you're like, what?
Oh well, maybe Trump did it. He's just like redoing everything.
No, I don't follow people who are Trump.
All right, I just know that this is not a word that is offensive. It's a sexually. It's not, and maybe you would black out the word assaulted is more upsetting than sexually.
Or murder.
I mean, what do we? But I just don't get it.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I'm not. I think we all know the word.
I know, but this is funny. This urged the police to take on a different direction. Well, obviously, I mean, yeah. Now that she's murdered, we're going to do a murder investigation. This isn't. I don't know where I got this from. It's a summary of the episode, so you take what you can get. You take the good, you take the bad.
Take them both. And
There
there
you
you
have
have the facts of life.
The
Facts of life. If you weren't alive in the 80s, you're not going to get that.
That's right. They can look at it.
Oh, it's still on TV. I've
is?
seen it. Yeah.
What is that thing called? TV Land?
I don't know. It's one of those channels.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, I watched a lot of TV while I was working, and it was on one of those.
They have something. I don't know which app it is, but all of a sudden they show all these old shows. Like it's just like a line of them.
Oh,
What's it on? Amazon?
no, there's Pluto
Is it Pluto?
and Tubi. Like they both have
A
those.
line but I have that Fire TV, so I don't even know which one it was. I'm just like, but
I think Roku does it. There's a bunch of free channels.
Honestly, I don't think I want to go back. I think I've had enough of all that.
I will only do it with certain shows, and not a lot.
I would like to see Starsky and Hutch again. I used to love that show. I loved only Starsky,
I never remember which is which.
the dark-haired one.
Yeah, I like
love
that guy too.
And I love the episodes where he was in, almost died. Like it happened a lot.
I know I watched them, but I don't really. I remember Huggy Bear. That's what I
Huggy
remember.
was funny. Yeah, you would like him because he was a funny. You would remember that the
Yeah.
most because he was the humor in it.
Yeah.
But I just loved Starsky, and I loved whenever he got shot once in an Italian restaurant,
Oh,
and they were waiting. A hit was going to happen. They were keeping him in the back room, and he was like shaking. He was going through all the stages of death.
yeah, I liked him, and we would play that when we were kids.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, because it was my brother and my boy cousins. I was the only girl, so I always had to be like whoever the schmuck was that got in trouble
Oh God,
that they were helping.
that's not
That
fair.
happened with everything we
There's always
played.
the girls in Starsky and Hutch at all.
We always played
Certain
games where
episodes.
I had to be
Oh dear.
the victim.
See, well, I always played in my school. We played Mod Squad a lot. We were little, by the way, and we were watching reruns. I don't know how we even saw these things because we were very young to be watching
Yes.
Mod Squad, and it was someone. No one wanted to be Captain Greer.
I don't even remember.
He was their commander,
Oh,
and he really wasn't even in it. I don't know. I guess the person. I don't know how he actually played it. What did Captain Greer just stay aside and watch the whole?
I don't know.
I don't even know how we played these things, but yeah, I'd like to see Starsky and Hutch. That's how I learned with Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow's speech from Macbeth,
Really, from Starsky and Hutch?
because a guy had been hit by a cab driver, and he was a Shakespearean actor. So to avenge he ruined his career. So he would get into cabs and he would murder cabbies, and he would go tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Creeps in his penny pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And I loved Starsky. So Starsky went undercover as a cab driver. And of course, even though he should have been on alert, the guy got him, right? And he's like,
They
down,
always do.
going down in the alley, like all bloody, and the guys, and I learned the entire soliloquy.
See, you can learn
Yeah,
things
you
from
could
TV.
definitely. And I heard it once on the Fairly Odd Parents too. They did it.
I love
Yeah,
the
you
Fairly
can
Odd Parents.
totally learn Shakespeare on these things. So
Yeah.
I don't know why they say they're not good.
God, I love that show. That
It
was
was a
one of
funny
those kid
show.
shows that,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
funny because it was so odd. Like
yes.
Fairly Odd.
Now I'm
Anyway,
singing that song in my head.
so they've revealed that it's a murder, and it urged them to take a different direction. They collected DNA samples from the crime scene. They did find. Am I allowed to say semen?
No.
And it always makes you wonder, like these people, don't they like? Do they not realize what they've done, and they're going to get caught eventually?
I
It
think
happens
if you're
all the
murdering
friggin'
people,
time.
like, how much do you,
Yeah, but
how
okay.
reasonable are you?
Yeah, but if you sexually assault somebody and then you kill them because you don't want to be identified, don't you realize if you've left evidence? Like it happens constantly.
Once again, are these reasonable people?
It's just, I wish someone would put out a sign: "Don't bother killing the person. You're not going to get away with it." That's what they should. This should be a public
Yeah, but some
service.
people do get away with it.
Well, eventually they get caught, I think.
If they keep going,
Yeah.
sure.
Because eventually because DNA keeps getting better and better and
Yeah.
better. And then now they have, well, wait till you see what they did in this case. They did the new thing that's really cool.
What they doing the family members?
No, but that's cool too. But this was a different cool. I'll tell you when we get to it. So, first of all, it said that they tested everybody in the community. Okay.
Everybody in the community.
Well, it's a small area, right?
I would imagine.
Yeah, but
so.
we're going to learn that's not true.
Like, what area is that small?
Oh, this happens a lot of times in small areas that they do this.
Really?
It's not the first time I've read it. But I don't think they're really as thorough as they think they are. Oh, I guess I can tell you now. They go right to this. It was a long episode,
Okay.
but they cut into the chase here. So, okay. There's this thing called DNA phenotyping where it's by they didn't even say the company is called Parabon or something like it's a Parabon, I think. They are so cool. They are responsible for catching so many people. Like I just love them. I think they're the superheroes of DNA and catching criminals.
So what is
It's
special
called
about it?
phenotyping, and they take the sample and through it's a new method, and they get the key physical details about the suspect from the sample, and they make a sketch of them.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's very cool. Now, what they have to do is like you have to. The thing is, you have to pick what age you want the suspect to be, and because they can tell like what the years and everything. So it's hard because you might not know how old the person was. And I guess you could do several, but it's expensive. It's relatively expensive. It's like $3,600 each time.
Yeah.
Which is not as bad as I thought it would be, honestly.
No, and I'm sure it'll get lower if this is new.
Right.
Yeah.
But so the cops, a year or two had gone by already, at least a year, I think longer. So the cops were like, well, we can't afford this, right? But one cop was like, come on, we can do this, da da da. And everybody was like, but he finally got it. They're like, oh, we just throw away this money. But a sketch came, and they're like, we've never seen this guy before, proving they did not test everybody.
Exactly.
And it turned out to be a member of the church that she went to. They should have tested those people.
Of course.
Somehow this guy didn't get tested, right? His name's Ryan Riggs. They put the sketch on the news and said if anybody recognizes him, tipping him off.
Oh, God.
Right? But somebody recognized the guy. Like, oh, that's Ryan Riggs. Everybody knows him. So, but the cops, how could they not be familiar with the guy at all if they were supposedly testing everybody, and especially members of the church? You would think you'd really check them out, but no. Okay,
Well, that's what there's no way you're getting everybody.
no, and they didn't even get the crucial ones. The first people you're gonna go, supposed to be people the person knew. So the church, she was very into her church. That was like,
Yeah, you would think.
literally her. You know how church is supposed to be a sanctuary. She really thought of it like that. So why wouldn't you test all those people? Well, so the guy. I didn't know. It was also reported that he had a romantic inclination toward the victim. Now, the victim did have a boyfriend too.
Yeah.
She did, but he
That's
was
not
cleared. Yeah.
surprising.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah. So So of course, when they finally figured out, like he had already seen the sketch and he left town for a while. Okay. So this really pisses me off. Okay. The cops are out looking for whatever. So his parents bring him into the church and he says he's sorry to the pastor. So, okay, you say you're sorry, and that's what I mean. Okay, then you're absolved. Oh, you said you're sorry, but you didn't actually. If you were sorry, maybe you wouldn't have killed her. You would, because when he confesses, you'll see what I'm saying. If you were sorry, maybe you would have turned yourself in before your sketch was revealed of who you were. Because time went by and you did not come forward. How sorry are you? You're sorry you got caught, is what you said.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they called everybody into the church for, I don't know, I think it would have been a special little event. I don't think they were going anyway. They might have been going anyway. It might have been he came when they were coming. I don't know. But he stood at the pulpit, the pulpit, which is a funny word now. Pulpit. Sounds like something that you get in orange juice. Pulpit. So now these people that they had one guy they interviewed, he was a close friend of Shantae. And he always said, I hope I never find this guy because I hope I'm never alone with him because I'm going to kill him because I loved her, So they showed him like he's in the church and the kid doesn't even ask for forgiveness. He just says, he gives some bullshit about like, now his soul has found God, some baloney. Like he said a demon did it, some bullshit, like a demon idea. He always had these ideas and demons were in him, never his own fault. Apparently he tried to drown his chihuahua several times when he was a kid. Somehow he failed, but he failed. Like, I don't know how you could fail.
I don't know, but good for that chihuahua.
I think he realized he's talked himself out of it, probably more because his parents were going to when he came home. So nobody knew about, his parents didn't know that he was torturing an animal because that is, so they say. So he said it was a demon, but now like he knows he was wrong. Like in all the sob story, I don't think he ever said he was sorry. He definitely did not ask them for forgiveness, but the pastor said everybody now has to forgive him. It was not a choice.
What?
He said, you were members of this congregation and you have to forgive him. That's what God wants, or
nope.
Some bullshit like that. I guess that's what God wants, right? So the guy that had been interviewed throughout, that was her friend, was like, I didn't want to forgive him because I loved her and this was her church too. Like, but the pastor's called him out. He's calling people out to go up to the guy and hug him. So the guy's like, I don't know if it's a good idea. I might kill him. But then the guy turned on his, folded like a book, folded like, I don't know. He got up and he gave the guy a hug. The guy that said he would kill him. He said he forgave him because the pastor told him to. This is what I mean. Forced forgiveness. Forced forgiveness.
I just don't understand. Like, why would you listen to that?
Why would you say forgive him? This girl was a member of that congregation.
Right. None of this is okay.
It's not okay. Like what? Like, oh, maybe his parents donate more, right? Like, you know what I mean? They brought him in. They're probably like, well, it's very important for them to have their son forgiven because they're religious, right? This is bullshit, okay? Religion is forcing you to forgive somebody you don't want to forgive. No, you know what? Sometimes people don't deserve forgiveness. That's my point. He didn't even do anything to deserve forgiveness. He went on the run when he was caught. He never came forward. He never gave any ounce of regret or anything then maybe you could think about it. Look, I'm not there. I'm not them, right? So the whole freaking church forgives this guy. Then the pastor calls the police and the parents were allowed to bring him. The cops followed them, but he was allowed to go with his parents, which is that never happens.
Where do these people live?
In Texas. Usually they're harsh on people there. I know. But I guess because they were religious or something. I don't know. So when he told them the story, he just told it like someone that was reciting what he had for lunch. He said he gave her a ride. He saw her walking. She got in. They were pulled over for whatever reason. They were talking about music and whatever. They were she was like, oh, I like, when people bond over songs. And suddenly he felt the compulsion to rape her. And after that, he said, well, I knew I had to kill her. Otherwise she'd tell. So he made the choice. You see, if he had regret for what he did, he could have not made the choice to kill her. He put his life over hers. And he killed in a very, oh my God. Like, he took her to that haunted place and she wasn't dead yet. He threw her over this wall, and that still didn't kill her. Like, to get her in, like, there's like a wall, like, I don't know. And then she was still alive. So he tried stomping on her with his boot, and she had like a mark on her, and I could find it hard to believe they couldn't figure out what it was. They probably didn't have a very good coroner because they have the,
Clearly.
I mean, they have,
This town is
yeah,
not full of
they
geniuses.
have those machines where you can see what,
Yeah.
like, it was a boot print. It's not that hard. Like, they tell that stuff.
Listen, everything about this, everybody involved in this story.
Yeah.
uh,
If they had
is
checked
wrong.
that guy's DNA, he would have just been caught. Like, they wouldn't have had to do all this other stuff, right? He had a lawnmower blade because he had a lawnmower business, so he cut her throat, something like that with the
Oh my
lawnmower blade.
God.
Yeah, or something with the lawnmower blade. I mean, like, so, and all this time it takes to kill her, you still like nothing. He just had no. This is clearly like a sociopath, right? This man should not have any mercy at all. Okay, he doesn't even feel badly because he's so like. If he's had any kind of emotion, like they're like, "What was your friend?" He's like, "Well, I knew I had to kill." Like what? You know. So he got what did he get? He got life in prison without the possibility of parole. I guess that's okay. But so the mother, you know, the mother was left like facing the fact like her daughter was killed by a church member and her daughter loved that place. And thank God at the end, she's the last person to talk. And she's like, yeah, that was her sanctuary. And they just all forgave this guy like nothing. And so I forget who did the episode. Oh, it was the new one, Blaine. There's a new woman that Blaine she did. It was just good. She's good. So she says, well, do you forgive him? And the mother said, no. Thank God.
Yeah, fuck that.
Thank God. Because that proves my point. Okay. You don't have to forgive. No, this woman doesn't have to forgive the guy. He doesn't deserve any forgiveness. He didn't. He was waited till he was caught. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, there are people who like. Would you forgive Hitler?
That's a good question. Right.
Would you forgive Ted Bundy?
I think if you belong to the right church.
Can you imagine somebody telling you that and you do it?
This is what goes on in these churches.
That is nuts.
And in general, there's a demand on you to forgive. I was thinking about it when I was driving, and I felt so strongly that I pulled over and wrote myself a whole email. And I wrote, there's some strange belief that we have to forgive people who hurt us in order to heal and be able to move on, and even in order to love. I feel like religion is at the root of this fallacy because religion, of course, benefits from it. Pray for the person's soul. Pray to Jesus for the strength to forgive. Because you have to go to, you're going to the church, you're giving to them this and that. That's how they continue. That's their business, right? To get people to pray and forgive. And it's a main part of their business model, right? I wrote, but I'm here to tell you. I was like, yeah, I'm preaching now. I'm here to tell you that you don't, imagine I'm writing this in my car. But I'm here to tell you that you don't need to forgive someone who doesn't deserve it, or even someone who does. It's your choice. Not forgiving doesn't mean you're paralyzed with fear or rage. It's just that you've decided to not be okay with that person. And you know what? That person doesn't need your forgiveness either in order to breathe or anything. Like, it's really no effect on them either way, if you think about it. This is all some magical thinking. What's the difference to that person whether you forgive them or not? They don't care if they're a murderer. They don't care. They don't care that they killed your baby. Why do they care if you forgive them? Right?
Absolutely.
It's so stupid. This is just another waste of time. We waste so much time thinking about forgiving. Let's just move on. It's just be given. It's a private thought. You want to forgive or don't forgive. You don't have to make a big thing out of it, I'm yelling again. God damn it.
You're fiery.
I said, it's just that you've decided to not be okay with this person, and that's okay. Forgiveness isn't some magical elixir which will cure your pain. And forgiving someone you don't want to forgive is likely to hurt you. You'll resent yourself and anyone who coerced you. And I have personal experience with that.
I'm so with you, yeah.
Well, somebody that I was in a relationship with, we had a friend. We had another couple, like we were friends with the couple. I found out that that my boyfriend was sleeping with the other guy's girlfriend. Like we were all friends. We hung out all the time, right? It was the most painful way because her boyfriend came over to my house and like said, I suspect this. And I'm like, what are you kidding me? He goes, well, when was the last time you had sex? Well, it's been a while. Like, so we were like figuring it out. And so I said, all right. I decided that's it. I'm going to get a voice activated tape recorder and put it under my bed. Well, the next fucking night,
Oh God.
because I worked late, right? And they were unemployed, both of them, living off this, And I put I mean, it's really devastating when you hear like someone you love like cheating on you. You hear the sex. It was really bad. It was
Of
really
course.
upsetting. And I shouldn't have forgiven him. And he didn't really say he was sorry. But somehow I let him back. I don't, without even much of a fight. There was really, like, I was determined, he's not, but within like 2 days, it was back.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I wouldn't forgive her though. I was like, listen, she was a bit like, okay, then when I first found out, I went to work and listened to it while I was on my way to something crazy like that. Imagine you're trying to function with this knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So I came back and I was hanging out with the guy. We were both getting drunk, and this other friends were like, going to drive us or whatever. And but then the friend and my boyfriend pulled up in the bar parking lot in the back, and I was going to rip open her door and kill her. Not kill her, but I would have smacked her around. Yeah, I'm not going to kill him. And my boyfriend, hit the electric lock, so I couldn't get her. And I was like, I cannot fucking believe you. I like you choosing. I guess I still can't decide if he was choosing her over me or he was trying to like save me too. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But he did continue on with her that night. You know what I mean? Well, I wasn't too friendly, but still, I don't know. I guess I'll never know that answer. But he stayed in my life. You know what I did? This is really cool. Okay. I used to work for a proxy counting thing. Like when I got laid off, proxy counting is like horrible. Just constantly, as they say, counting proxy. But I had a college degree, so they let me do the bigger accounts and they let me watch over other workers. So I was sort of supervising, thank God, because the actual drudge work, you would commit suicide. It's like so boring. So in the proxies, people that were religious would put in those little religious pamphlets, right? Those crazy.
Yeah.
So I got the number and I got the address. I don't know. I think I wrote to them and said her name, like, please help me. I'm possessed by the devil. I need help. I want to be saved. I gave her information and they started contacting her. And she tried to have me arrested. And apparently because I'm
over that.
It is annoying, but
that's annoying. But
guess what? You have a right. If you think someone needs to be saved, it is your right. So if you want to get to somebody, that's okay, guys. I say go for it.
I think that's a great way.
Wasn't that it was great, right?
It's not a crime.
They were harassing her for years.
Good. Yeah, I've met her. She deserved it.
Because after all, they think when she's saying, no, I don't want this, that's the devil talking. Yeah. She already said she needed to be saved. So clearly we got to keep trying. Yeah. They don't give up once they got you.
I met this woman years later.
But then
nothing good happened in there.
Here's the kicker. Okay. Many years later, she came over to me and said she was sorry. I knew she wasn't sorry. She just wanted to hang out again. You know what I mean? She just wanted to she did not say it with any conviction whatsoever. None. And this woman already proved herself to be a Judas. Once someone is like that, you can't trust them anymore.
Not at all.
And that's it. But what did I do? I said I forgive her because I was completely bullied into it.
That's sad.
And it really bothers me to this day.
Yeah, she did not deserve that at all. She was a terrible person. No.
And so now I stand firm and people are like, oh, you can't hold all that anger. Oh, it's not anger. It's just I'm not forgiving this person. Yeah. I'm not holding it. I'm not actively stewing.
There's people I don't forgive, but I've moved on with my life. I don't let it bother
But you don't have,
but no, they don't deserve.
Well, reading all those freaking quotes, you must forgive. Oh, I mean, it's unbelievable.
Most of them were religious. Did you notice that?
Yes.
And they'd be like, it's poison to you. And
well, even Anne Lamott said that, who's not. Oh, she is actually religious. I forgot.
Oh, is she?
Oh, she's very religious. I forgot that.
Oh, these quotes were ridiculous.
She is extremely religious.
You would feel like
she thinks that she is like Jesus in her pocket or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these quotes were basically like, if you don't forgive, you're a piece of shit.
Piece of shit, and you're doomed.
Yeah. I
If
don't
not
know.
damned, but you're doomed.
I'm okay.
You're hurting yourself. So that now there's
I
more
feel fine.
well, well, look, I know there's one person that I can't forgive who didn't apologize either. That's the doctor that killed my son.
Obviously.
And you know, it's not. I mean, it's not. Well, it is murder. He turned him off against my wishes. I still think that is illegal, but somehow I can't get any justice. But he also intubated him without giving him the proper sedation, and my son aspirated. Well, I'm not forgiving him, and there's no reason why I should. He didn't even ask for forgiveness anyway. But like he just goes on and on with no consequence. Nobody. If my son was Matthew Perry, they'd be all over it. You know, they only get justice for people that are famous.
Yeah.
You know, or possibly very wealthy. I don't know, but definitely famous. And so this guy, no, I don't wish even anything good for him. Frankly, why should I? I don't wish bad. I'm not like I don't wish death on anybody. I just decided I don't want to do that. That's up to whatever the universe. But why should I wish good for him?
That I agree. I mean, I don't forgive people for less than that.
Right.
Because they're terrible people and they don't deserve forgiveness.
They don't forget. Well,
because they don't care. If you came up to me and you were genuinely sorry,
and you
for
can
what
tell when
did,
someone's really sorry
yes,
too.
because
Yeah.
one of them actually apologized to me,
Oh.
and it was the most empty apology.
Oh,
in
well,
the
see that you
world.
see that's it. You know when someone's
And this person,
why did they
is
apologize?
because something happened to someone they know that had a similar relationship.
Oh,
It's like I
yeah.
don't want to,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
get into it.
Yeah.
But that's what, and I was like, but that has nothing to do with me. That's not even my situation.
Right.
I'm not like that person.
Right.
That's not going to happen to me. I
Right.
don't know why you suddenly feel like that's a thing. Like it was almost like they were saying that their role in my life was so important
Right.
that this bad thing would happen to me too. And I'm like, you're giving yourself a
Right.
lot of credit.
I think that's what's going on here too. That's we don't have such importance in someone's life that we need to forgive them for them to move on.
Right.
Like, it's all a mess. We don't need to we don't need to accept apologies. We don't need to give apologies. It's like this is all let it go.
Yeah, I just don't spend time with those people anymore.
Right.
That's all.
I know people can't handle that.
I think it's lovely. It makes your life so much better.
Well, the last person, if he's a person that I don't forgive, is God. You know,
I know.
Last episode, I said God is a serial killer, and I'm like, I like that. I mean,
I'm surprised you didn't get bad comments about that.
well, I did. It just came out yesterday, so
Oh
this
my.
time. I was gonna call the episode "God is a Serial Killer." I'm like, I'm just afraid of, I don't know what people are gonna do.
People are going to be very angry.
But I feel like that could be a song, like the sky is a neighborhood. God is a serial killer.
Oh, you did Foo
Yes.
Fighters.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
I like that song.
It's a great song.
But don't you think God is a serial killer? He is.
It's catchy.
Look, I'm not gonna forgive him. He betrayed me. He dragged me in. He dragged me kicking, screaming to believe, and then he killed my kid. That is like unforgivable. That is not a forgivable offense.
I agree.
And I don't know these people that forgive when all of these bad things happen to them and they pray. I love when people are praying that they catch the person. Yeah, well, where was God when your kid whoever it was needed saving? Where was God for all these other things? Like all this, you're praying for all these other things. Where was God when the really important thing needed to be? Like I'm not okay
agree
with it.
you, but those people, if that's what gets them through the day,
I don't. Well, I don't understand that, but okay.
I wouldn't. That's not the way I would deal. But I mean, to each his own.
I just can't believe that I was like, it's an ultimate betrayal.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say about that.
Well, I think we're
at a good time. Okay. So you have quote or
I
no?
don't know. Let me look. You go ahead.
First person, I had to look up who he was. David Hume. Apparently, he was a Scottish philosopher, and he said, "Remember, I couldn't find any quotes that were supporting my feeling that you don't have to apologize to move on. They were all like, you have to apologize. There is no such thing as freedom of choice unless there is freedom to refuse."
Damn right.
That's right.
I like it.
And then the second one is from JFK. Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth.
Oh, that's so true.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the third one is Robert Frost. Freedom lies in being bold. And I think I'm proving that I'm bold today.
Yes. Nice. Okay. This was all I could find, and it's by someone named Leah Rader, maybe? Raeder. They're an author, and I guess this comes from their book Black Iris.
Huh.
So it's fuck forgiveness. That's what they want me to do. Make it easy for them. Clear their consciences. Let them get away with what they've done. The powerful, the strong, the privileged. Not a fucking chance.
Oh, that's good. So you did find one in support of.
Yeah, it kind of makes me want to read their book.
Yeah, sounds good. Black Iris?
Black Iris.
That sounds familiar, but there's a lot of black books like Black Dahlia. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could just be thinking, I
Yeah.
don't know if I've heard of it. That was good.
It was good. Yeah,
I like that quote.
I liked it too.
Yeah, send me a screenshot of that one.
All right,
Yeah.
I took a screenshot, so I'll just.
Yeah, I really like that. I feel like I could put that up in my room. Like I could put that up in my kitchen. That's warm. It's warm and fuzzy.
Warm and inviting.
Don't fuck with me because you're gonna have eternal wrath. Again, I don't think people that hurt you care if you forgive them frankly. But with that, we will bid you adieu.
Good day.
Did I say it right? Adieu? Adieu. I don't know. All right. Farewell.
Bye.